Good morning from Universal Orlando Resort. We have reached the time of year. Halloween Horror Nights starts this week. Specifically, Premium Scream, which is a separately ticketed event that is actually happening twice this year. The first time happens before the event actually starts. We'll be going to Premium Scream this year and we'll be experiencing Halloween Horror Nights a day early, and that's on the 27th. The event officially opens on August 28th and continues through November 1st. So on select nights, and it is a separately ticketed event. So if you are interested in Halloween and Halloween Horror Nights and spooky things all together, stay tuned because we're gonna be going over everything in this video. We're gonna be walking through all the scare zones before the event starts, so there won't be any scare actors. We're gonna be showing you where the entrances to the houses are. We're going over the stories of the scare zones, the stories of the houses, seeing the tribute store, seeing the merch that's gonna be offered, showing you where the food booths are, talking about Scream Early, talking about Stay and Scream, talking about as much of the event as we can in this video to get you prepared to come to Halloween Horror Nights 2026. Let's head inside the park. As we're walking up to the park, an interesting change for this year is that there's no medallions or advertisement at all on the arches for Halloween Horror Nights. This isn't typical because usually the main arch has a medallion that gives the dates, some sort of graphic showing the theme of the event, and then you have all the different houses and stuff will have dedicated posters on the other arches. But this year, because they're doing work on the arches, we don't have those yet. Now that may change as the event goes on. That's something that's really unique about Halloween Horror Nights is the event is different from opening night to closing night. They might make adjustments in the scare zones, they might make adjustments inside of the houses. So prime time to come is probably about halfway through the season. Maybe at the beginning of October would be an excellent time to come to where they've made some changes to improve the experience. The actors have gotten into their groove. The opening night is definitely fun because it's an experience, but things may not go as smoothly as they would halfway through the season. So we talked about a lot of stuff as we were starting the video, like Premium Scream and Stay and Scream and Scream Early. These are different things that you can do to kind of enhance your Halloween Horror Nights experience. We'll start with Premium Scream. So Premium Scream is happening twice this year. This is the first year that they've done it twice, and that is the 27th of August and October 19th. And what Premium Scream is it is separately ticketed from Halloween Horror Nights. Like if you can get an annual type pass to Halloween Horror Nights, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But Premium Scream is not included in that and is a little bit more expensive than a typical night at Halloween Horror Nights because they cap the attendance level a little bit lower on those nights, and it's unlimited food. The food is all included in your price of entry. So we have one on the 27th of August and we have one on the 19th of October. We're gonna be going to the one on the 27th of August to kind of experience the event a little bit early before opening night, because opening night is the 28th, and to experience the food. So on that night, we are expecting to go through all of the scare zones, see all the food, and then maybe get a few houses in. And then when the event starts, we'll definitely be going through all the houses. And if you are interested in going through all the houses, one way that you can accomplish that without buying Express is by doing Stay and Scream or Scream Early. And so Stay and Scream is what you would utilize if you had a day ticket to Universal Studios or an annual pass or like a park hopper. And that is where you are already in the park and you can just stay and go to Halloween Horror Nights. That's what Stay and Scream is. And so the way that works this year is you check into the park with your regular day ticket or your annual pass, and then right as soon as the park opens, you can go and get a wristband over at Guest Services. And that wristband will get you into 3 haunted houses starting at 2 p.m. We don't know which houses yet. We'll learn that as soon as the event starts. And it might change throughout the event which ones they let you into first. But starting at 2 p.m., you can go off with your wristband and start queuing to go into 3 haunted houses. And the event starts at 6:30. So you'll be able to get through those 3 haunted houses, no problem. And then on a rolling schedule, they're gonna open up more haunted houses before the event begins. So you'll get 3 houses at 2, and then there'll be another opening of some haunted houses at 4, and then another one at 5:15, and the event starts at 6:30. So technically you could get through all of the haunted houses fairly early in the event and then spend the rest of your night and maybe going through the houses again or going through scare zones and trying some food. So that's for Stay and Scream. If you're doing Scream Early, which is an additional cost to your Halloween Horror Nights ticket, then you can get in at 2 and you can get your wristbands either at Guest Services, at VillainCon, or at King's Cross here in Universal Studios. And that will let you get in line for the 3 houses and then follow the same schedule as Stay and Scream. 3 houses at 2, then at 4, another set of houses open, and then at 5:15, another set opens, and then at 6:30, the event starts. So you got some choices as to how you can experience this. And one thing I want to point out is when you're entering a haunted house at 2 or during daylight hours, there is a very drastic transition from the bright Florida sun to a dark haunted house. And it will take your eyes some time to adjust inside of that haunted house. So you might not be able to see a lot of the details, and it'll probably be more scary going in that early in the day, because when you first get into that haunted house, your eyes haven't adjusted and you can't see anything at all. You don't know where the scares are coming from. You're not really sure which way the path goes. So in my experience, the haunted houses are better to experience after dark. And I know that that means either waiting in longer lines or buying Express, which Express is very expensive this year, and they took it away as an annual option for our Halloween Horror Nights annual seasonal passes. So this year Express is only available each individual day. You can go into the park, you can buy Express for that day, or you can buy it online for that day and then use it just for that day. You can't get a season option for Express like you have been able to in years past. All right, so I know that was a lot of information right off the bat. So we're gonna take a break from information and go inside and have a look at some of the visuals. So we've just made it inside the gates, and this is exciting because right now, not a lot of people out here. Starting the first day of Halloween Horror Nights, that whole area is gonna be packed. So as soon as you get into the park, the first thing that you come upon is this area here. And this isn't a scare zone, but it does have a name. This is the Infernal Carnival of Nightmares. And this is where we will meet Jack and Oddfellow. So with the name Infernal Carnival, you can see this is themed like a carnival with the ticket booth and everything. And it is split right down the middle. You can see there's red on one side and purple on the other side. Red being for Jack and purple being for Oddfellow. And I like that they've added in the 3 and the 5 details. So you can see this is a 3, it's a 5 up there. And this is because it's Halloween Horror Nights 35. That's a really neat way of doing that, is like adding it in to the filigree here. So for the casual Halloween Horror Nights fan, you can just consider Jack and Oddfellow 2 spooky guys. But if you are into the lore, you know that they're not each other's favorite people. So Oddfellow ran a circus that Jack worked at. Jack has a little bit of chaos in his side, and Oddfellow likes control. And so Oddfellow got mad at Jack because Jack was starting to kill people at the circus, and in ridiculous ways. And so Oddfellow was very upset about that, and so he decided to take it upon himself to get rid of Jack. And as he was getting rid of Jack, Jack scratched his face, thus fusing them together. And you can see, when you see Oddfellow's face, you'll notice he has scars on his face from where Jack scratched him. And because Jack scratched him, that made Jack also immortal, because Oddfellow has been chasing immortality through use of the Dark Zodiac. Also, we have Oddfellow trademark Trading in Imports. And you can see this is his Dark Zodiac symbol. We'll see these type of symbols throughout the park because Oddfellow kind of has his hand in everything. All kinds of interesting things. Inside of the bed of the truck here. Freak show. In the bed of Oddfellow's truck is another truck. But there's also like a baby from a king cake inside of there. I don't even know if you guys can see it in there. But right through the back window, oh man, this is hard to see. You see it in there? Little baby inside of there. But this also feels like a fresh flower market. Looks almost like Earl's truck. Earl the squirrel. So, like I said, this isn't really a scare zone. It's sort of like an intro to Halloween Horror Nights as you walk in. Not very big. You've got Jack and Oddfellow will be up on those platforms, greeting people as they come into the park. Also, they'll be there for the opening ceremonies. They'll be the first ones to come out before the event starts, and they'll give a little speech, like bringing you into Halloween Horror Nights, telling you about it, and like inviting you in, and then they'll go up onto their platforms. And from what we saw from team member preview last night, we also get some of the icons from years past, some very popular icons from years past. During team member preview, that was Cindy and the caretaker that came out. Could change, could be any number of the different icons that have appeared or that are appearing in the next scare zone that we're going to. Could be also joining Jack and Oddfellow in this opening ceremony. Before you start the event, something that you might be interested in is merch. And there are a few merch locations. The Universal Studios store is one of them. And one thing that I want to point out that is a very interesting and specific piece of merch, if you are a little bit scared to go to the event, for $20, you can get this. This is called the Deathly Afraid necklace. And what this does, it is a light up necklace or light up lanyard that limits the scares in common areas and scare zones. Now, this doesn't work in the haunted houses, but if you are concerned about being scared going through the scare zones, you can put one of these on, and the scare actors will do their best to notice it before they jump out and scare you. Now, it should be noted that there's a lot going on at Halloween Horror Nights. Some of the scare actors might have limited visibility from where they're coming from. They might not see that lanyard before they jump out at you. And so you still might get scared. That's why it says limit the amount of scares that you will get. So take that with a grain of salt. You could wear it and possibly not get scared the entire night, but you could also have an accidental scare. And as soon as they notice it, then they will back off. So if you are somebody that's a little bit concerned about going to the event and being scared, this could be an option for you. But also in here is other Halloween Horror Nights merch for you to purchase. And here's something else that's interesting that's happening is they're doing a weekly magnet release starting with Lil Boo here. It says Happy Halloween. And then starting on Wednesday, 9/2, you can get a Stranger Things one, and then you got Hamikuma, then Killer Clowns from Outer Space, then Fort Nightmares, then Hellraiser, then Ozzy Osbourne, then Art the Clown, then Sinners finally on the 21st of October. And I'm kind of wondering, so we've got the magnet here that says Happy Halloween, and then we've got some other merch to go along with it. And I don't know if that's gonna change with the magnet schedule. We'll have to check back and look. Okay, so now is where we have to make the choice. So we've come to a fork in the road. We can either go straight and head towards Fallon, or you can head to the right as you come in and go towards Hollywood. Typically, I would prefer to go towards Hollywood and start my scare zone there, and that scare zone does tie in with the opening Infernal Carnival scare zone. But right here in this plaza between VillainCon and Minion Mayhem, there is like an entry moment greeting you and welcoming you into the event. So I want to go through that first, and then we're going to come right back here and then go through the Hollywood scare zone. So as we head into Universal Studios, after we've gone through Infernal Carnival, so Infernal Carnival is behind us, we're heading down here past Despicable Me and Minion Mayhem, and we're also coming to the entrances to a couple of houses. But like I said, we are going to be coming back here. So just as wayfinding reference, the entrance to Stranger Things 5 and Evil Dead Burn are back here. But we're gonna still talk more about Stranger Things 5 and Evil Dead Burn after we go through some of the scare zones and some of the other stuff. So I wanna head through this section right here. So this area here is not a scare zone, but it could be a nice little photo op area. So you've got the Halloween Horror Nights 35 2026 sign, then you've got the Hellraiser puzzle cube. You got Stranger Things 5 with the Squawk Tower on top. And then you've got an Ozzy Osbourne giant O over here. And then you've got a Sinners thing here with a giant guitar, which is really cool. I like this a lot. And then you've got Evil Dead Burn over here with, I'm assuming, some of the pages from the Necronomicon. So what this area will be, there might be scare actors kind of roaming between here and from the Infernal Carnival, but this is sort of like a photo op for you to take pictures with these big iconic signs. After we showed that, I'm gonna start heading back this way. Let's talk about the haunted houses that are going to be going over here. So over here by Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, we are gonna have the entrance to two houses. We're gonna have Stranger Things 5 and Evil Dead Burn. And you see this sign right here. This will be an informational sign giving you the wait times for both of those. But these houses are back in the sound stages. So you have to go back this way and like walk way back and around to get the sound stages that are on the other side of Minion Mayhem. So Stranger Things 5 is, as it sounds, based off of season 5 of Stranger Things. We are back in Hawkins, and you'll go through the entire season. So you get to see the Max Z, you get to battle Vecna, you get to go into the mind of Vecna, and you get to go to the Squawk and all the different iconic locations from season 5. Hopefully, we are able to defeat Vecna and the Mind Flayer and make our way out. We'll have to wait and see. So Evil Dead Burn is based off of the 6th film in the Evil Dead franchise, the first one coming out in 1981. And each film kind of centers around the Necronomicon, which is the Book of the Dead. And usually somebody opens up the book and then all kinds of terror and horror ensues. This movie is no different. So this film centers around the Price family with their vacation home. As you go through their vacation home, you'll dive deeper and deeper into the horror and face more and more deadites around every corner before succumbing to the evil yourself. Well, I'm very excited about this one. I liked all of the Evil Dead franchise. I haven't seen this film yet, but I am interested to see how the haunted house plays out because The films have gotten scarier and scarier as they have progressed. Now we are back at Infernal Carnival, and this is the way that we headed. There's all of the photo op kind of areas that I showed you. The entrances to the two houses there by Despicable Me, and we are gonna be turning to the right and heading into Hollywood. This is where you will come into the scare zone, the Sideshow of Decay. And this one is gonna be the most interesting for me. If you are interested in the icons, past icons of Halloween Horror Nights, and you're a fan of the lore and the storyline of Halloween Horror Nights, this is an interesting one because they're all in here. So with this scare zone, and I don't want to get too deep into the backstories here because the backstories of Halloween Horror Nights are extensive, and particularly this scare zone has an extensive backstory that reaches all the way back into Halloween Horror Nights history. The basic premise of this scare zone is that Cindy Kane has been given the power to open portals by Dr. Oddfellow. And so she opens up a portal and brings all of the icons here to her carnival. She has a lot of history in Halloween Horror Nights, and she has kind of changed throughout the years. So Cindy Kane, originally Cindy Bear, was the daughter of Paul and Kara Bear, Paul Bear, funny play on words there. They owned a funeral home, and eventually they went mad and started hiding body parts from the dead bodies that came into the funeral home in the walls, and then eventually started selling the meat from the dead bodies. And that was her origin story as far as her first time at Halloween Horror Nights. And it's changed throughout the years. Eventually, she became the daughter of Albert Kane, the caretaker, one of the other icons from Halloween Horror Nights, who also appears in this scare zone. At one point, she was supposed to be the icon, but there was some stuff happening around Central Florida we won't get into in this video, but they decided it was a good idea to have a different icon that year than Cindy Kane. And she's come back at various locations throughout the event, but here she's getting a prime spotlight spot with her own scare zone here at Sideshow of Decay. So as we go through, it is a carnival graveyard, and you can see there are various icons here. Like you can see on the Down a Clown game, this looks like Lady Luck, and we have seen that Lady Luck has been at the event since the team member preview. And then various other things like the caretaker and the director, and all kinds of different icons from the events will have their place in this scare zone. And now in this scare zone, when I say a lot of icons, I mean a lot. Like even ones as recent as Halloween Horror Nights 33 with Sinister and Surreal, we saw them in the scare zone during the team member preview. So there will be a lot of icons in this area, and I'm excited to see them. Some of them have new looks. The Carney crew. This is just a picture of, I don't know who everyone is here. Let me know in the comments if you know who all is in this photo here. And some of the hints as to who is in the scare zone can be found in these Down a Clown dolls. Like this is the usher. Also in this scare zone, you will find the 5 and Dime, which is a good spot to buy some Halloween Horror Nights merch while you're here. So you can see lots and lots of Horror Nights merch, including this year's house shirt with all the different houses on it. You can also get those magnets in here, and this actually has a really good selection. You got Stranger Things, Hellraiser, Sinners, Fortnite, Ozzy Osbourne, general merch for the event. You've got the Deathly Afraid necklaces. You've got Sinners merch, a Sinner Spirit jersey. All right, I like that. And various other Stranger Things merch. So from the 5 and 10, we're gonna keep heading this way, and our next stop will be Mel's Diner, and then there is a scare zone here for Fort Nightmares, but I want to talk to you about that when we get there. And so the whole reason that I wanted to talk to you about Fort Nightmares is because we're not going to go into that scare zone right now. I know that it's getting kind of we're moving all around the place and going in different directions in this video, and there's a little bit of reasoning behind my madness as far as where we're going and how we're doing it, because at the other end of the Fort Nightmares scare zone is the battle bus. And those of you guys that are familiar with Fortnite, every battle begins with the battle bus. So I figured we should start that scare zone at the battle bus. So instead of going into Fort Nightmares, we're gonna turn to the left here. And so during Halloween Horror Nights, Mel's Drive-In becomes Mel's Die-In. And they drop out the lights in the R and the V in Drive-In, so it says Mel's Die-In. And this restaurant will still be open during the event, but they will have zombie car hops roller skating around, not really scaring you, but more for the vibes. And so we will continue our way around Mel's Drive-In and head back over to what used to be the entrance to the Rip Ride Rocket over there, sort of in the Minions area. So we've made it back to this area where I was talking about how these little signs are, kind of like photo ops in this area here. And that's the entrance right there to the park. And you can see we're in Music Plaza. And this direction is the direction we're gonna be heading towards the New York area. But I did also want to point out there is a kiosk here that has Halloween Horror Nights merchandise available for purchase. Horror Nights, Pigeon walking through the streets. So here at Music Plaza, you can see we've got a portal. This is what we call the entrances to the houses. And this particular portal is for Jack and Oddfellow's Chaos and Control, which is a haunted house this year based on Jack and Dr. Oddfellow. A lot of backstory with Jack and Oddfellow. Basically, I'm gonna give you guys the Cliff Notes version. So just know that this is a very teeny tiny portion of who Jack and Oddfellow are as characters in the Halloween Horror Nights universe. The idea is that Oddfellow had a traveling circus, and he used the circus as a way to harness fear, and like he used the occult to gain power, and he used the circus as a front for that. But Jack started as a killer, and so he joined the circus after transforming himself into a clown, and he used the circus as a way of killing people. He did it on the stage, and he did it willy-nilly, basically. Like, the idea of Jack and Oddfellow is Jack is chaos and Oddfellow is control. And so as you know, chaos and control don't go together. And so the two didn't get along. So Oddfellow decided to kill Jack, and Oddfellow sealed him in a box. So because he scratched his face and then he left him in the box, he transformed inside of that box using the power of the Cane of Souls, which is what Oddfellow has. That's his cane, is the Cane of Souls. It transformed Jack into something more than human, and he broke out of the box. And so now he is no longer human, he's inhuman. He decides to try to kill Oddfellow. He kills Oddfellow, but of course, Oddfellow has the occult on his side, the dark magic. And so he cannot stay dead either. So both of these characters, they are beyond death. You cannot kill them. And this is where we pick up inside of this house. They're fighting at the beginning of the house, and then they decide, wait a second, if we join forces, we could do more. We could cause more havoc. Although they do it begrudgingly, they are together in this house at the end of it, coming after you. So that's sort of the storyline of this house in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but that's sort of like the nutshell Cliff's Note version of it. So as we come up to our next scare zone, downtown Clown Town, I wanted to pause for a second and turn to the left, because this is where we'll find the entrance to a couple of other haunted houses. Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, and Madland's Caged Cannibals. Also, throughout the park, you will find various food locations and Fanta bars, where you can come and you can get a nice refreshing Fanta beverage. So this is a strawberry scrambler with some gin, lemon juice, lavender syrup, Seagram's Club Soda, and Fanta strawberry. Or the Phantom Punch, which is vodka, Sorrento lemon, triple sec, lime, orange, cranberry juice, dragon fruit syrup, and simple syrup. Ooh, it sounds very sweet. And then while we were at the food preview, we saw these, the cans. There's the Maniac Mix and the Oddfellows Elixir. And there's a canned Carnival Sour Ale that we haven't seen yet. We didn't see that at the preview, but you can see there's a third option. So we'll start with Madland's Caged Cannibals, and the storyline behind this house is post-apocalyptic. You are seeking refuge in an abandoned zoo. Seems like a pretty good place to be, except you find yourself in between warring cannibal factions. And the animals are not there anymore, but the people have taken on primal cannibal instinct and like really decorated themselves as animals and things like that. So it sounds like it's gonna be pretty scary and kind of like a heavy hitting vibe, if you will, kind of like a lot of in your face, coming to get you type stuff. This one I think will be scarier than most people think it will be. And the other house that has the entrance over here is Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, based off of other music icons that we have had houses based off of. This one should just be following through Ozzy Osbourne's vibe. We know that he has some more like haunting music, some more like heavy metal type spooky music, and based off the covers of his albums had some like really kind of horror type imagery. And so that's what we step into in this house. And then based on the lyrics of his songs, follow through the different things that are described. Biggest example that I can think of is Crazy Train. So a lot of people know the Ozzy Osbourne song Crazy Train, and that is featured in this house where you literally go onto a crazy train that goes off the rails. And so that's the type of imagery that you should be looking for in this haunted house. I'm very excited for this because it seems like it can be a fun house. A lot of like loud music, good times, and, you know, just like a rock and roll type house. Back over to downtown Clown Town, and as the name suggests, this is a scare zone based off of downtown New York and clowns. So we've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space in here, we've got Art the Clown down there, and then we've got various other clowns in here. Also, I don't know if this is new this year, can't remember any other time this happened, but these are bubbles filled with fog bubbles. I like this Good News can of shaving cream. That's fun. So this is an area that's themed after Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You can see various Killer Clowns things, but there's also buttons here. So this would be a guest activated trigger. And right now they're not doing anything, but during the event, if you come over here and push the button, there'll be sounds, possibly lights. You'll have to look at, oh my goodness, there's a face in there. You have to look at the various things around this display to see what's gonna happen. Some lights up there, and possibly some sounds from down here. So as we continue around this scare zone, be sure to look everywhere. There's different decorations all around for the clowns. Oh no, had to cover this up, but we can still see a shoe sticking out from the bottom of it. And if you're familiar with the Killer Clowns from Outer Space films, things might look familiar to you. Also in this scare zone is the entrance to the tribute store. You can see right there the curator. And we're gonna be going into this in just a moment. I just want to kind of go around the scare zone a little bit more. This scare zone is gonna be a little bit discombobulated because not only do we have the scare zone and the tribute store entrance, there's also food booths here. So, wanted to point out that we originally thought that maybe Jack and Oddfellow were gonna be on this stage. It's gonna be Chance. Chance will be up on this stage, Chance and Eddie, and they will be doing, you know, the various things that Chance and Eddie do. Killing people in interesting ways, as you do for Halloween Horror Nights. And then also, I like this, Chance's Screamery. She overtook an ice cream truck. Also, she has a new look. Her hair is starting to look a little bit more like Jack's. And she is getting more and more clown-like. She was already clown, but she's starting to really kind of like lean into the clown look now more. So in 2007, Jack and Chance had a stage show over by Mel's Drive-In. And that was called the Carnival of Carnage, The Carnage Returns. And this sort of stage show here should be very similar to that, where they'll put somebody on a wheel and they'll throw knives at them or put them in a blender, a giant blender, type things like that. That's the sort of thing you should look forward to for this show right here. But we are gonna continue throughout the scare zone, show you some other stuff. But first, I wanna talk about the entrance to the tribute store because there's also like a poster over here that says this is the Sideshow Obscura, the tribute to the macabre and the bizarre. So this is sort of like a promotional poster for the tribute store. And these are things that you should find inside of the tribute store. See him, Odric, the monster tamer in the pit. And then Madame Basil is also the same fortune teller that is in the facade in the New York section, kind of around the corner. We'll show you her when we get over there. So back to the scare zone. We're going to go down to the end of the scare zone, then come back, then go through the food, and then come back and go into the tribute store. So this scare zone is full of all sorts of carnival/clown-like props. Oh no. Oh, I thought it had like cockroaches in it. It just looks like chocolate. Like melted ice cream and stuff. We're just gonna continue our way down. Next thing we see is the midway of the bazaar. So this is another section of the scare zone that will have guest-activated triggers. And you see there's buttons all throughout here. When you push the buttons, I'm sure there's some heads here. Maybe the heads will turn or move or possibly squirt water at you. I don't think that we are looking beyond getting squirted out in this area. Ooh, Dr. Oddfellow's Grand Carnival. This is like the horse trailer. And another thing that's interesting about this is it goes around the back with the theming here. And also, you can see some theming down in Sting Alley with some of the food items. Amazing Doc Hayden's Crosshair Coupe, Game of Skill. So I don't see any menus over here, but in years past, yeah, this will be a food booth. You can see they've got the food prep items back in there. And then this will be where you would probably get a drink over here. So we're on the other side of Sting Alley. New York was on the other side, and the food booth was down this alley right there. And I like this because we've got various posters from different years that featured Jack, or just different years of Halloween Horror Nights. The Dueling Dragons. Oh yeah, performing tonight, The Extraordinary Acts of Terror featuring Jack Schmidt. If you miss it, you don't know Jack. Oh, and this one, see, Take a Chance on Your Life. A Kiss to Die For. So here you'll be able to get, these are some food items we didn't try yet. a twisted Philly cheesesteak stromboli topped with spicy Italian sausage, peppers, onions, and cheese sauce, fried PB&J bites, battered strawberry PB&J, powdered sugar, and strawberry jam, Phantom Punch, and then you get the canned items as well. A Lucky Ticket lemonade. Ooh, just like some bloody looking lemonade. So here at the end of the scare zone, there's a marionette stage. From the team member preview, we know that there will be a puppeteer here with 2 marionettes, one for Jack and one for Dr. Oddfellow, and they will be retelling the story of Jack and Oddfellow in marionette form. So if my little primer was like too much, or if it wasn't enough, you can always come here and learn a little bit more about the story of Jack and Oddfellow in marionette form. And that's what this poster tells about. The show is called Dr. Oddfellow's Grand Carnival Presents Chaos and Control, A Tale of Two Icons. And that's where you'll learn the story of Jack and Oddfellow. And also, this isn't part of the scare zone back here, but they do have the cars from the scare zone back here. So we can go have a look at some of the cars. So these are just some clown cars that will be featured in the scare zone. They just don't have them out right now because it's not Halloween Horror Nights. So they bring them back over here by the kind of sort of like the backstage area. This isn't backstage, this is still on stage, but this is where they keep the cars when it's not Halloween Horror Nights. And I like that they have like an old VW Bug and a Fiat because they look like clown cars. I also like that there is some little feet hanging out of this one and a little clown hat. Give me my hat back, Jeremy. So now I know that we have been going like kind of back and forth and kind of going around in circles in this video, but the good news is that means that Universal has put stuff everywhere for us to see. So we are going to head back down to where the Chances stage was, and then we are going to turn down the side path there and show you guys the food items before circling back around and heading into the tribute store. So continuing the theme of Jack and Oddfellow down here, chaos and control, we've got Oddfellow's Menagerie and Jack's Circus Supply. Over here at Oddfellow's Menagerie, we've got the Deathbringer Tempura Shrimp. This was one of Jen's favorite things that she tried. And the Burt Sando, which was also another thing that she really enjoyed. And then once again, the Phantom Punch and the canned drinks as well. And then over at Jack's Circus Surplus, we've got the Carnival Smash Tacos and the Circus Peanut Forever. Earlier this week, or last week, Jen and I went to the Universal Test Kitchen and we tried some of the food items that are coming to Halloween Horror Nights. We got a little sneak peek at them. So we'll put a link to that video in the description down below, give you guys more information about the food coming to Halloween Horror Nights. And so these two food booths do share a register location. So you can order either thing from either booth at either register here at the front. And then from the Jack and Oddfellow food booths, we're gonna kind of turn the corner over here and head back towards the entrance of downtown Clowntown, but there is also something behind me too. So like I said, there's stuff everywhere this year. And this is the food booth is called Devilish Delights. This will be where you can get fried pickles and twisted tater chips. You can see some of Oddfellow's symbolage up here. Fried pickles with sriracha aioli and twisted tater chips with ranch and vinegar seasoning. Sounds pretty good. And we talked to the chefs about why these are not on a stick anymore. It's because you get a better product when you don't have it on a stick. The potato fries more evenly. Every chip comes out crispy, they stay crispy longer. With the twisted taters, sometimes the center would be underdone, sometimes it would be super crispy throughout, sometimes it would be soggy throughout. So they said, we'll take the chips and we'll twist them and that will be a better product. And so that's why they've got twisted tater chips. And then over here, instead of the dunk tank, it's the death tank. And that's right next to the Devilish Delights. Here's where you will find the Jack and Odd Dog and the Death by Cheese Stick. Now I should warn you, this Death by Cheese Stick, the marinara is spicy, so be prepared for that. And then across from Death Tank is one of the larger bars here at Halloween Horror Nights. And this is where you can get any of the beverages that you've seen at any of the other booths that we've shown, the Phantom Punch, the premium cocktails. This is a full bar. But because it is a full bar, this will also have one of the longest lines in the park. And then from those two food booths, we pass by the Jack and Oddfellow food booth, and we head over to where we will find Art the Clown. And so this is themed to Christmas. And if you guys are familiar with the movie series that Art the Clown is featured in, you'll know this is from the third movie. Because we are still in downtown Clowntown, and because Art the Clown is a clown, he was very popular last year, they wanted to bring him back. And in this year's event, he will have a stage. So he won't be roaming the streets, or he won't be like riding his tricycle around, but he will have a little show that happens here. He'll come out of the door and then he'll like do some kills, or a stage show will happen here, and then he will retreat back. So it won't be as close of an interaction as we had last year, but you will still be able to get a close-up view of Art the Clown. We knock him down. Ironside Demolitions, interior exterior specialist since 1967. There is a black curtain here, so I'm assuming something's happening inside of this van. We are back over here where the Jack and Oddfellow food booths are, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna make our way into the tribute store. So before we head into the tribute store, I did want to point out there will be a stage, there is a stage out here with somebody kind of barking people in, getting people to come into the tribute store and go to the carnival. Enter the realm. Oh, look at this spidery guy. He's fun. Where the unknown is known, oddities and curiosities from far and wide. Believe your eyes and trust your soul. Enter if you dare. Coffin-toothed creature. Ooh. All right, so we are not gonna be going as in-depth in this video because we've already talked about so much throughout this video. If I went in-depth in the tribute store, it would have been this 3-hour-long video. So we're gonna kind of do an overview of the tribute store as we walk through. But on Instagram, we should have a little bit more detailed tour. Oh, is this Oddfellow's outfit right here? Welcome to the Sideshow Obscura. This fully curated experience takes you through the notably humble Sideshow Obscura, sought by sovereigns and country people alike. Find yourself in a world only we are brazen enough to share. From the weird and unexpected to the fearsome and ferocious. Here you leave one reality behind and shift into the unknown. If you stay on the path, all should be fine. But remember, only the bravest should. Enter here if you dare. So there is some glyphs down here at the bottom. And if we peek out here, it says, here's the secret. And that gives us the base for the code cracking based off of here's the secret on this poster. So I am not smart enough to crack this code, but somebody is. And I'm sure we will know what it is soon enough. But yeah, those glyphs are everywhere. Also, it looks like we got some wingdings down here at the bottom. As we walk in, this first room is kind of themed to oddities and curiosities and Yetis, of course. Oh, and this is a map. So this is the cursed Tibetan Yeti paw, condemned acts of the Tartarus, the hellish book of the grotesque, the tattered remnants of the ancient pixie, towering mummified giant, Order of the Silver Clover, collection of soul-bound masks. Oh, ninth wonder of the world, the last Fiji mermaid, the cursed amulet of misery. These are the and countless more curiosities of the world. So this whole room is various curiosities of the world. Like here, there's the last Fiji mermaid right there. So we're not going to talk a lot about the merch while we're in here, but one thing I wanted to point out is there's a backpack this year that has a little display area for pins and is themed to Jack and Oddfellow. They also have the coin in here, a collectible Jack coin for the 35th anniversary of Halloween Hornets. Oh, it's Jack and Oddfellow. That's cool. Let me see if it will flip around to the other side. Also, I feel like I would be a little bit suspect if you're wearing a skinless Frank hat from Hellraiser. I've got like a little king in a jar. That's cool looking. Like a hologram. Oh, creepy marionette at the end of the walkway here. Ooh, there it is, the amulet of misery. All right. Oh wait, amulet of unknown power. Oh man, where's the amulet of misery? Where's that at? I gotta find that thing. There's a big poster for it right here. These are the calcified remains of the museum incident. Some nods to previous things at Universal, like this was over at Islands of Adventure. Also, what are we doing with a puzzle box purse? There's no good will come from this. Oh, it wasn't the last Fiji mermaid. They crossed out last. Ooh, this is awesome looking. Like the little puppets are hanging there, and then they come to life in the background. So it's called the Ouroboros Puppet Theater. It's the tale of two souls. As evil wakes, the cycle begins anew. From the curated collection of beasts and beings, a choice is made and given no reason. For life's essence to pass, a question is asked. Was the lesson learned this haunting season? As the wind stands still and no answer is given, the curator grins and collects his remittance. Another year passes as his torch grows brighter, awaiting the one that can douse this lamplighter. There's also a scavenger hunt throughout the tribute store. So you can see this is Fire and Ice, and this is, I don't know if you guys can even see it, but it says 6 of 12. So we gotta be on the lookout for more of those. And then we head into Audric, the monster tamer. This is his area here. Oh my goodness, there's monsters on the walls back there. But the pit is at capacity, so we can't go in and see him tame monsters in the pit. But we can go in here and see some of the monster theming that we've got going on. And so far we've got Stranger Things merch in this room. Ooh, who was in this cage? Who was in this cage that popped out? Whoever, well, probably this guy right here. Ooh, spooky boy. Lots of Stranger Things merch. And Hamikuma merch. Or no, who's in here? Ooh. And this next sort of room here is kind of clown themed. We're looking at all kinds of Jack and Oddfellow themed merch. Like you could just get a shirt that says Downtown Clown Town. There is also an annual pass holder shirt with Jack and Oddfellow on it. And a fun popcorn machine. Oh no. Audric, his face is gone. Oh, probably because the monster that broke out thought it was really him and went for the head. And then we head through a hallway that's just kind of themed like a back alley of a Midway with different signs and different posters throughout. Even passing by this McDougal's House of Horrors cart. Now we're heading into Madame Basil's Fortunes by the Mystic. We got all kinds of Sinners merch in here. Oh, this is awesome looking. Holy cow. Oh, look, it's like a ringer shirt. I like this. It's like a traveling fortune teller's carriage. It's gotta be so much fun to put this all together because just like going through and finding this stuff seems like it'd be really fun to do. This is cool. Basil the Boundless. And this is a poster that's signed by Harry Houdini saying that they enjoyed working with Madame Basil. And we continue our mystic theme through here. More just generalized Halloween Horror Nights merch in here. Now they do sell masks in here, but you cannot wear the masks during the event. Also a glowing orb. Oh, there he is. There's somebody inside the mirror. What's he doing in there? Uh-oh. He's very... Oh! He was scary. So this is the group that put together the museum. In other words, Universal Creative. Ooh. Oh no, they need help. I wish I could help you. I'm sorry. I can't, I don't know how to do that. Oh dear. Oh, the librarian. I also have Fortnite characters, like action figures that you could collect. TheTimTracker. And then we head into the last room. Oh my goodness, it's a full-out carnival in here. Oh no. Holy cow. There's the curator right there on the big Ferris wheel. Oh, and the checkout counter is a carousel. The horses going around in the background. Wow. And in here you'll find merch themed to Art the Clown, as well as Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Also, look at this guy. Holy cow. And so from the carousel, we make our way out. Oh, this is fun. It's like the exit to one of like the haunted house, haunted mansion dark ride type things. There's the curator. Ooh, he's laughing at us. Oh my goodness, that's a mummy. This is our first customer. Oh, he's trapped these people inside this little jar here. Oh, there they are there too. Trying to get out. Also, I like this little sailor man. So one thing that's also here is the Tribio's box of cereal, but this has the decoder on the back of it. So if we take what we saw on the outside of the sign and then based on what the cross-reference with the poster, and then we line up the correct letters with the correct symbol, we'll have the full alphabet and we can decode everything in the store. Also on the way out, we've got tributes to old tribute stores back here, or like references to old tribute stores. We've got various idols that have caused all sort of havocs throughout the seasons here. And then up top, we've got all of the Universal Classic monsters, sort of in maquette form. And then also a comic. Can't see what this little card up here says. Oh, and then a reference to when the tribute store was a video store. So you have a reference to when it was a comic book shop, and then when it was a video store. After visiting the tribute store, we will continue our way through this scare zone and then head over to show up Club Horror and more haunted house entrances. So Boris Schuster is a big name in the Halloween Horror Nights game. He's a private investigator. He also investigates paranormal things that have been happening surrounding Halloween Horror Nights. But now we have tied Madame Basil in too, because she is traveling with the sideshow, or with the carnival. Fortunes by the mystic Madame Basil. So another reference back to the tribute store inside of Madame Basil's permanent shop. Something else is inside of Boris Schuster's office. His corkboard is filled with clown references now. I don't even know if the camera can focus in there or not. Yeah. So as we reach the end of downtown Clown Town, here's Louis. And this is where during the event you can get a specialty pizza, a rigatoni pizza. Like I said, we've done a preview of the food in video, and we'll put a link to that video in the description down below. As we get to the end down here, you can make a right, head over to Transformers and back to Hollywood, or you can make a left past this Fanta booth, another bar, and head towards San Francisco, past the Beat Builders. Beat Builders probably won't be here for the event. Love the Beat Builders. So down here next to Fast and Furious, or the previous location of Fast and Furious, because it has closed, we have another entrance portal, and this one will be for Cybergoria. So Cybergoria, the concept is so interesting to me. It's the future, and people have decided that they want to live forever. And so with the way that AI is nowadays, people are starting to rely on it more and more. So sort of what we do in the future, we rely on machines. Machines will keep us alive forever. Put us into a cryo sleep, and you keep us alive, and then wake us back up when things are better, you know? When we have the technology to live forever. And so the machines put us into cryo sleep, and while we're in the sleep, they notice things starting to happen, like where our arm starts to decay. So they replace it with a robotic arm because that's better. Our leg starts to decay. They replace it with a robotic leg because that's better. And then we awaken, and things have changed in the world. It's now like a cold, machine-like world, and we are cyborgs, but not in the best way, because the machines made us into cyborgs. We didn't want to be cyborgs. And so now we are having to navigate this new world of the future with cyborgs, and we have to stay away from the machines because they're trying to keep us alive, even if it kills us. So, gotta watch out for that sort of stuff. Gotta watch out for the machines in Cybergoria. I don't trust them anyways. Never trust AI. Also, rest in peace, Fast and Furious. As we get into the San Francisco section, over here at Richter's Burgers, they've erected some kind of like carnival tent-looking structures on the side. There's nothing like saying, oh, these are like almost like if you were at the beach in Amity, these would be like your cabanas. I like it when they bring back things from previous years, like this Carrie's Drive-In, Cary, Ohio Drive-In sign. Man, that's a throwback right there. So this sign's from Halloween Horror Nights 25 from a scare zone called All Night Die-In Double Feature that was in the New York section of the park. And the reason that this is here kind of points you into the San Francisco Candy Company, because inside here you can find more Halloween Horror Nights merch. All items on loan from the Cary Historical Society. Oh, this is cool. Welcome to Cary, a nice place to live. Meets, frozen treats. And the Cary Today. Cary redevelopment official. Mayor and Wyandotte County board members approve a major redevelopment of the township of Cary. WKNB, Ohio's greatest. The HR Blood and Guts? Okay, this is cool. This is like all old stuff referencing Cary, Ohio. And like the history of Halloween Horror Nights with Cary, Ohio. Cary, Ohio was famously where one of the Universal Creative members is from. And so there is a lot of references to Cary, Ohio in Halloween Horror Nights. Spirit Seekers and the Wyandotte Estate, Legendary Truth, one of the greatest Halloween Horror Nights houses ever. I loved it so much, and I wish that we could do things like that again. It had a clear plexiglass floor, and a ghost would go underneath the floor and look up at you. Got some references with a movie poster to Slaughter Cinema down here, and Amazon Cannibals from Hell. Man, the township of Cary. This is awesome. Like, if you're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights, you know Cary, Ohio, and you know some of these references. The orphanage, the spawning. I like this, it tells you what it was from. The orphanage, Ashes to Ashes, Havoc, Dogs of War, Cary Candy Company, Barber Chop, Hellgate Prison, Cary Forever. This is neat because it's like all the different references to Cary, all the different houses that featured Cary, Ohio. Legendary Truth, The Collective. If you are interested in the lore of Halloween Horror Nights, look up The Legendary Truth. HR Blood and Guts, Holidays of Horror, Cult of the Beast Baby, Cary Drive-In Movie Marathon, Sorority Sacrifice, Devil Dog, Pumpkin Guts, Shitty's Kids, Cult of the Beast Baby, Amazon Cannibals from Planet Hell, Barber Chop, Midnight Snack 2, The House Swarming, Attack of the Swamp Yeti. Amazing. I got so distracted by all of the Cary, Ohio stuff, I forgot to show you guys all the different treats that are in here that are themed to Halloween Horror Nights. A Dr. Oddfellow Trifle Cake, Chance's Caramel Apple, Jack the Clown Sugar Cookie, Ozzy Osbourne Bat Whoopie Pie, Killer Clown's Cotton Candy Rice Treat, Hellraiser Lament Configuration Chocolate Cube, Hellraiser Macarons, Killer Clown's Cotton Candy Macarons. So the Hellraiser is cookies and cream because everybody knows Pinhead loves cookies and cream. The Ozzy Osbourne Raspberry Macaron. This is an Evil Dead Burned Chocolate Cherry Cheesecake. I think it's got an eyeball on the top of it. Icon's Eddie Salted Pecan Macaron. Yeah, Eddie loves salted pecan. Red Velvet and Strawberry Macaron for Sinners. And then the Sinners Bourbon Macaron fully fits. It's Club Juke themed there. San Francisco Candy Company. Save Cary from the San Francisco Candy Company. We are turning in this direction to Fisherman's Wharf and over here to Club Horror. So Club Horror isn't a spooky thing. It's a party, right? Like a dance party. Got dancers on the stages, a live DJ, lights, fog, drinks, a good time. Here are the drinks that are available. The Caramel Apple Splash Punch, Bacardi Rum, Granny Smith Apple Syrup, Caramel Syrup, and Lemonade. The Phantom Punch, we already talked about this one. And then the other premium cocktails are just like whatever drink you want. And they also have Freak Show wine, fitting. So across from Lombard's is this little booth right here. It looks like a San Francisco trolley, but you can see at the top it says Evil Dead Bites. And the menu can change. So right now the menu is what it is normally during the day, but during Halloween Horror Nights, this is where you will get the lasagna burn. And the lasagna burn is a pork pot sticker lasagna. So you get pork pot stickers layered in a lasagna style, and that has the Szechuan chili in it that'll give you the burning mouth sensation as well as the numbing mouth sensation. Jen really enjoyed this one, so if you guys are going to the event, be sure to check this one out. Now before we get to the London waterfront, back here behind Lombard's, there's an Ozzy themed bar, Ozzy Osbourne themed bar. It seems like it's gonna be fun. Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, probably just gonna be blasting Ozzy songs back here. Yeah, and this will give you kind of a preview of what maybe the Ozzy house will be like. The imagery inside of the house, at least. I just wanted to point out that there is a mocktail version of Black Rain, which is the Ozzy Osbourne themed cocktail. So Club Horror was there, King's Cross is here, and right in between the two, there is some Halloween Horror Nights merch here as well. As we pass by the London waterfront, which is the facade for Diagon Alley, you can enter Diagon Alley through here. There will be Death Eaters back there during Halloween Horror Nights. Also, the area is usually barren. There's not a lot of people that go back into Diagon Alley during Halloween Horror Nights. So if you're looking for a spot to like escape from the crowds, you should go back there for sure. So as we exit the London waterfront, we're gonna make a turn to the right just near this bathroom here and head over to these food booths. Meats is from Leave It to Cleaver, a 2009 Halloween Horror Nights house. As you can see, this is the Bloody Barbecue Specials. Bloody Bones! Smoked and charred barbecue ribs with crispy jalapeno bits. Torn to shreds pork sandwich with jalapeno slaw. And then Meats Bloody Limeade. Gin, Misguided Spirits gin, two different kinds of gin, lime juice, and simple syrup. Coming soon, Florida Sun Roasted Tourist. That's me right now. Meats, serving you piece by piece. Meats, organic free-range Orlando residents, locally sourced. Arm and leg sale. I like that. Also over here is the Squawk. This is the radio station from Stranger Things. I can't wait to see us at night because that's all neon right there. That's gonna light up really cool. Tonight's lineup, L's Battery Jerky. We had this at the food preview. Upside down chicken and waffles. This is gluten-free. We love to see it. A whole gluten-free waffle and everything. Cheese and potato waffle. Crispy chicken bites and sriracha aioli with chopped chives. And then Steve's smuggled peanut butter bites. Contains nuts. So this is vegetarian and gluten-free and contains nuts. But it's not vegan because of the chocolate chips. Hopper's Recharger. It's vodka, mandarin orange vodka, yuzu juice, and Powerade lemon lime with Monster Energy Zero Ultra. Oof. That'll really wake you up, won't it? So from this food booth, we're gonna turn in this direction and head towards the old Fear Factor stage. Returning once more to the Fear Factor stage, Nightmare Fuel Blood Noir. If you're not familiar with Nightmare Fuel, it is how would you describe it? Like an act that goes in all directions. So it does have darker themes, features pyrotechnics, acrobatics, dancing, stunts, magic, illusions, all kinds of stuff. Fire eating, sword swallowing maybe? You never know what's gonna happen this year. It's very fun to watch and really good energy. However, in the beginning of summertime, or at the beginning of the event when it's still summertime, this stadium gets very hot. So be prepared, bring fans, but be ready to enjoy the show for sure. So if this doesn't describe Nightmare Fuel perfectly, like you can't even see the show if you've got heart conditions, fear of enclosed spaces. Can't even see the show if you've had recent surgery. Amazing. Don't touch the live performers. No eating or drinking, no smoking, no carrying children, no photography or video recording, unless otherwise specified. There's also 2 drink places out here, a drink cart or a drink stand here and a drink cart over here. Or the drink stand has the Phantom Punch, as well as any cocktails that you might want. They also have All Ale the Pumpkin Lord for draft beer and Clown Town Cider. This is my first time seeing these 2 on the sign here. They might have been on other signs, this is my first time seeing them. And then of course these other 3 canned items. Then Eddie Schmidt's Draft Wagon, so Eddie Schmidt is Eddie, Jack's brother. I also have Zombie Killers on tap. Lumi, Florida Avenue, Hazy IPA. Burgermeister, Awake Coffee Blonde. And then to the right of the Fear Factor stage, we've got the entrance to Hellraiser and to Sinners. 2 very exciting franchises coming to Halloween Horror Nights. Sinners, based off of the 2025 film Sinners. Amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. It is so good. Also, the highest grossing original horror film ever. There you go. Basically the theme is you're following Smoke and Stack, 2 twins that have come down from Chicago back to Mississippi, where they are opening up a juke joint called Club Juke, but on their opening night, they're invaded by vampires. So as the vampires try to invade the club and take over some of the characters from the movie and turn them into vampires, you are trying to escape throughout this house. Hopefully we make it out. I can't wait to see this because amazing film. I loved it so much. We just rewatched it. I hope that there are all kinds of Easter eggs in there. I hope that there is so much good music in there. And I cannot wait to see it. I think this will be my favorite house of the year. On to Hellraiser. This house is based off of the first 3 Hellraisers. Now, I just watched 1 and 2, and I'm interested to see it. I can tell you number 2 is way better than number 1. I haven't seen number 3 yet. I should probably try to watch it before the event starts, but this will take you across all 3 films, and it'll take you from Frank Cotton's family attic to where he first opens the lament configuration puzzle box, and he's dragged to hell, where the Cenobites are inflicting otherworldly pain that brings pleasure. So painful that it brings pleasure, that's the idea at least. But nobody wants to be there, even though they say that it's otherworldly pleasure. Everybody wants to get away from it. That's where you are. You will find all these different iconic locations and see these different storylines throughout. And 2 is also a continuation of number 1, where we re-meet the Cenobites and Pinhead inside of a maze. So I'm interested to see how it goes. And basically, whenever you have a Halloween Horror Nights house based on a film, it follows that film scene for scene. So if you've seen Hellraiser 1, 2, and Hellraiser 3, you will know this house inside and out. From early pictures that we've seen from different events, we know that you enter through a giant version of the lament configuration puzzle cube with the chains coming out of the bottom of it and everything. So I'm excited to see the imagery in this house, and I'm excited to see how they do it. As we continue to make our way around, we are passing by the Men in Black gear shop, and you can see there are some carts out here that also sell Halloween Horror Nights merch. The direction that we're headed is over here by the bathrooms because there's another house entrance over here. And this is for HR Blood and Guts presents a Halloween Fright-tacular. So this is another one that dives deep into the Halloween Horror Nights lore. HR Blood and Guts is a cable access host He works at WKNB. We saw that sign over in the San Francisco Candy Company, the TV station WKNB. And he used to have a show where he would show B movies, and he was like the host of that. And then his show got canceled, and he ended up losing it and torturing his entire crew live on the air. And so then he got caught and taken to Cary State Penitentiary. But he's made his way out of the Cary State Penitentiary, and now he is back at the TV station on Halloween night to show all the movies that he didn't get the chance to show when he actually had his show. So we're gonna follow him through. Of course, he's lost his mind now because he had already lost his mind before. Then he spent some time in the penitentiary. Now he's even more gone. And this house will also have ties to Slaughter Cinema with those B movies from there. The Pumpkin Lord will be featured in this house. It's gonna be a fun house. I think this will be kind of like a comedy house, a little bit more kitsch, a little bit more like fun to do rather than scary. Also another Fanta bar over here. This one features a drink called the Pineapple Tilt-A-Whirl. Bacardi rum, cupcake syrup, coconut milk, and Fanta pineapple. As we're passing through the Springfield section of the park, in years past, there has been roaming chainsaw hordes in here, so just be aware of that. And as we get to the Quickie Mart, we turn back towards the Simpsons ride, and this will be the entrance to Invasion Alien Abduction. So Invasion Alien Abduction, probably the most self-explanatory house at Halloween Horror Nights this year. You're in an alien abduction. You are on a Southwest homestead, and the Greys, which are what we would call the aliens here, have landed and they're tearing apart the homestead, trying to find fresh test subjects. As you're going through this house, you have to try to dodge tentacles and aliens and things like that. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this one because I can't remember just like a straightforward alien abduction Halloween Horror Nights house, where it's just like, there's aliens here and they're coming to get you. As we're passing through Springfield, back when I was a drinking man, Dufftoberfest used to be the highlight of the year, was when Dufftoberfest would come out. I wasn't a real fan of Dufftoberfest. I really liked the darker Duff. I forget what it was called. It was just like Duff Dark. It was more like a Guinness. That was my favorite type of beer. I think it might be Duff Dry that I liked. Been so long since I've had one though, so I don't remember. What happened to Jebediah Springfield? I know that somebody cut his head off at some point, but I didn't think they took the whole statue. I like the idea of when you take out Chief Wiggum's car, you put big boxes in the place so that people can sit here and eat the Lard Lad donuts on them. I did just get confirmation that there is roaming chainsaw hordes here in Springfield. Chainsaw clowns, as a matter of fact. As we're getting closer to the Fort Nightmares scare zone, we're passing by a Hellraiser food truck. Here's where you can get Pinhead skin and meatballs, torn pasta, spicy pork and beef chunks with marinara, skin and chips tachos, crispy pork rind served with Tostitos cheese sauce and Jack Link's peppered jerky, and then the pleasure and pain brain custard with ripped teeth and skin vanilla cake pieces and strawberry sauce. Ooh. Before we get to Fort Nightmares, there are two food places here. There's one here and one over here. So we'll go show this one first, then we'll come back to Parkside Fair. And the last time we were here, we said that this was gonna be themed to Dia de los Muertos, and we can see that's true. And then the menu is the walking tacos. We've got a gluten-free picadillo beef with Tostitos cheese sauce, lettuce and sour cream. I wonder if I can get that with just the beef. I wonder if the beef is spicy. It's picadillo, I don't think so. Or they have the vegan one. I can get a vegan walking taco. Heck yeah. With vegan chili. And then over here we've got Eddie's Revenge, bourbon, blue curacao, blackberry syrup and lemonade. Then we got a Howling Storm, 2 types of rum, passion fruit syrup and lemonade, and then the Phantom Punch is what we've been seeing everywhere. And then we'll make our way across the path here to Parkside Fair. For the Halloween season, they are transforming it to Parkside Scare. Barkside Scare. Ooh, why is it? Oh, because it's cats, I guess? I don't know why it's Barkside Scare. Bringing the whole pack to Howl at the Moon. Okay, fried dough, choice of garlic parmesan or powdered sugar, and they've got elotes. Amazing. All right, like I said, I don't know a lot about Fortnite, so I'm gonna do my best. So the battle bus is here. That's where you enter the match. All the players go into the battle bus and they choose where they drop into the match. And then we've got the llama, the loot llama over here. There's a stage here where people will be doing the Fortnite dances, like the emotes on top of it. They were also, I saw from the team member preview, they were kind of just doing emotes everywhere, just doing the dances all over the place. And so this scare zone is themed to Freaky Fields, which is one of the maps that you could play. Over here on the side, you've got a pumpkin launcher, custom HHN pumpkin launcher, which is one of the tools that you can use in Fortnite. I like that it's got 1031 on it, and it's got HHN 26 on it too. Some gold bars over here, some corn. Corn, why corn? Corn has a lot of superstition here at Halloween Horror Nights. One year we had corn, an entire cornfield where so Universal wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So they grew corn, and it was when you could pass between Universal and Islands of Adventure. The event spanned between both. There was a bunch of hurricanes that year, knocked over all the corn. And ever since then, every time that they've put corn in the event, there's been a hurricane. It's just history. Like, there's always a big storm every time that there's corn here. And there's corn here this year. Also a witch's broom over here off on the side. And I guess this would be like if somebody came on the witch's broom, they just escaped real quick from another battle and they came to this area here and they just started battling right away, but they dropped their broom there. Scarecrow over here. There's another guy, a player up there with the pumpkin launcher. So most of the characters that you will find in the scare zone will be the fiends in the game, but also they do have other people dressed in the skins that you can get in the game, kind of roaming around almost as if they were players playing this field right here. I have a hanging peely bones up here in the trees. I've been doing a little bit of research and trying to figure out as much as I can, but if you guys could inform me as to like, why would they be hanging from the tree up here? I don't know if it's too backlit to see this, but there's one of the skins right there on a mannequin with the pumpkin gun. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better from this side with the pumpkin launcher. The various stages where the players can emote here in the scare zone. Also during team member preview, the Skull Trooper was here holding the Reaper. And then as we turn a little bit more, we've got another food booth. This one's themed to Club Juke from Sinners. So we've got Annie's Juke Joint Fish and Grits, crispy catfish with low country grits, crunchy garlic, and a side of Tabasco. Chow's Southern Barbecue Egg Rolls. This was something that Jen tried at the event. And then pecan and whiskey bread pudding. Warm bread pudding with pecan and whiskey caramel sauce. Ooh, slide guitar smash with corn whiskey, or lemon juice, ginger syrup, and simple syrup, and mint essence. So, really keeping it to the theme with the corn whiskey. And over here at the Central Park Lagoon, we've got Stranger Things Return to Hawkins. And this will be a lagoon fountain show with lights and music. And this will be kind of like a mashup of all of the different seasons of Stranger Things, 1 through 5. So you get to relive all of the iconic moments, all of the monsters, all of the twists, all of the turns here on the lagoon with the water projections or the water screens and the water fountains. And as we make our way back to the Hollywood area, out in front of Mel's Drive-In, we've got another few kiosks over here with some Halloween Horror Nights merch, including Fortnite merch. A little bit better look at the Fortnite shirts, as well as the characters from Fortnite. All right, there you have it. That was our trip out to Universal Studios to show you guys everything there is to know about Halloween Horror Nights. What are you most excited for? I'm most excited for Sinners. For the scare zone, I think I'm most excited for either Downtown Clown Town. I'm also excited for this like opening ceremony type area here too. I think that the entire event is gonna be awesome this year and I cannot wait to attend it. I feel like we covered a lot of stuff in this video. So hopefully that got you guys ready for Halloween Horror Nights and pumped for it, because there's a lot. So stay tuned for more Halloween Horror Nights content as the event approaches. It's coming up very soon at the end of this week. So all in all, it was a fantastic day. With that being said, we are off. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Now it's time to pay the price.